Let me tell you something, brother. Oh man, this is shaping up to be a glorious night of wrestling. I am very much looking forward to it. With me is 1/4 of the Wrestling Council, which I will be hosting this Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm right on that, right, Boogie? Okay, it is. Right, it is 10%. Okay, yeah. Because I was like, oh man, don't have me don't have me out there, man. I'll be out there. So 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Card Press channel. I am
9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay. 9 p.m. Oh, so I said 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay, that's what I'm saying. 9 p.m. That's right, because it used to be at 10 p.m. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 Central. Yeah, like they used to do on TV. But 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel. Tomorrow night, we will be talking about All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, which is going to be happening in a few hours. We saw the video. It's out there. Matt Hardy, he meets with the Young Bucks, the Bucks of Youth. Boogie Bentley, what's going on? S&B Network in the house.
Dude, I was so excited. I don't know how much. Do you watch Being the Elite, the Young Bucks show?
Yeah. I watched there was that one funny segment where they had the ref and he was his thought process. He's like, why don't they listen to me or something? It was so funny. I was like, they have some funny skits on there. So yeah, I'm subscribed to that and I check it out. But yeah,
I'm usually watching them on a delay, but when I watched the one this week, because it was behind the scenes for Revolution, I was all excited telling you guys. It was the one where I told you at the end they get the phone call from the North Carolina area code and they're like, because they're talking about, because they've been busy because they had the C2E2. You know, they had the panel there. They had Dynam or Revolution. I think they had the toy deal came out. So they've not been home. So the end of the episode was, oh, we finally get to go home. We get to see our families. You know, we got 4 days off before we got to come back for Dynamite.
Don't they live in California?
Yeah. And then the phone rings and it was a 910 area code. Of course, what do you think everybody does? They Google 910. What is that? North Carolina. And then Matt says, we got one more stop. We can't go home yet. So then what? It's perfect timing because
then they pull up on Matt Hardy's channel. Which I've been subscribed to that. I love Matt Hardy's channel back in the day, like when him and Lita broke up, that he would go on his channel. I don't even know if those streams are still up, but he would go on his channel and you could tell he was kind of pussy whoop because he would just go on his channel and just pour his heart out about, you know, his best friend Edge banging his fiance, the woman he wanted to have a family with. He said they would lay in bed at night and talk about having kids. No. And I mean, but there's footage even on the WWE network of it's Matt that, you know, because a lot of people forget Matt and Jeff Hardy's father, he was loaded. He had like a couple hundred acres down there. That's why I was like, when people see like Matt and Jeff and they're riding on, they've made a mountain and they're like on dune bikes and all that, you know, there's a volcano and all this. They did that on their own property. They own a couple hundred acres, although my understanding, I think the father gave Matt some and Jeff some, and they both built their own separate houses on the big compound. I don't even know if the father's still alive, but
dude, the dad was on the video today. He was the one digging the grave. Still alive.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that was the dad that was digging the grave with Matt.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's older. Yeah, I've seen him a couple times on Matt Hardy's channel. And but yeah, their father had money. He was a millionaire. He had a couple hundred acres. And, you know, so they grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth and all that. And he just like, all right, you got these acres. You got that way. Everybody can build their big houses on the property. So they're all across, like Matt and Jeff live together. You know, it's like Matt lives on his side of the property and Jeff lives on his side of the property. But there's footage on the WWE Hardy Boys video of, you know, them when they were all together. And then they're all swimming in the pool. And Jeff's in the pool and Matt's in the pool with Lita. And they're at that time, they're a couple. She's hugging on them. They're all in the pool, just chilling and having fun. And maybe someone's filming it, though, from outside the pool. But maybe the father or someone else that was cool with it. But they're all in there just having fun. And they look so happy. And then, obviously, the stuff with Edge happened. And, you know, he talked about finding, you know, he got up. He said he suspected something was going on He didn't know what, though. He felt like she was being a little distant towards him. He got up, and she happened to have her phone, like, in the living room. He was going into the kitchen or something. He saw her phone, and he said, "I've never done this before," which means he's probably done it before.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
He said, "I've never done this before." And for some reason, he said she had like voicemail and text, and he said he decided to do some investigating, and so he knew her password or whatever. He got on the phone, he saw some text messages from Edge, you know, that they weren't like, yeah, we're sleeping together, but it made him wonder, like, why is he texting her all the time? I miss you so much. All this kind of, he was saying that those are the kind of messages he was saying. And then he heard the voicemail. And the voicemail was from Edge. And he's married.
Really?
And
at the time he was married?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Edge, it was his, matter of fact, I think it was his second marriage. Because it was a Spanish one. I think her last name was Ortiz or something. But he was married because his first marriage was to Val Venus' sister. And then they broke that marriage up, and then he got married to another woman. And Matt actually said that Edge's wife called him. I think she had been a wrestler or one of the costume people. She worked somewhere in the WWE. And I mean, this is all, you can Google it because, like I said, but she was his second wife, because Beth Phoenix is his third wife. So
yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix is the third wife, but he got 2 daughters with her, and I think it's 2. I know they got at least 2.
Yeah. They live just over the mountain in Asheville. From me.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, I know there's a lot of wrestlers live in North Carolina, but I mean, here R-Truth lives in North Carolina. Hurricane Helms, obviously, Ric Flair was from Charlotte, even though he was born in Memphis and kidnapped as a baby and sent up to Minnesota in a black market adoption.
Oh yeah.
That's really
not crazy? Is that not crazy?
Yeah, he was born in Memphis. He was kidnapped as a baby. A black market adoption was done, and he ended up growing up in Minnesota. And
he's got all kinds of self-esteem issues. Have you ever heard about all that stuff?
I've watched so much Ric Flair stuff; it's ridiculous. Not to mention all the alcohol, the painkillers. Just being horrible with money. That's one of the things Triple H was like. He said, I love Rick, but he needs like a business manager. He's Critias.
Come on, how are you going to slip that in there?
I was like, yeah. Ric Flair manages money much like Critias did. So
it's just crazy that arguably the best in-ring performer of all time, and he would talk about, like, in his books and stuff and his shoot interview. Man, he's got a long shoot interview. I think with Hot Spots that he did, it's like 3 DVDs. Last forever, but talked about how he would go to the ring and have no confidence in what he would do. And it's like, dude, you're like, I think he is the best. Maybe him or Shawn Michaels, probably in-ring performer of all time.
Well, here's the thing, though. That's why I've been loving the new WWE show, the Ruthless Aggression show that they've been airing. They did one on Evolution, and Triple H is talking about Ric Flair was just broken down. He didn't know, they were trying to use him. They didn't have any ideas what to do with him. It was like he was just pretending to be Ric Flair. He wasn't Ric Flair anymore. And it was just, and he went to Vince, and I guess at that time he was dating Stephanie, or they hadn't gotten married, or maybe they had only been married a little while. He had the stroke either way. He went to Vince. He said, just give me Ric Flair and 2 other guys, and I'll make him Ric Flair again. And he said Vince didn't want to do it. Vince thought it wasn't a good idea. He kept working on him, and then finally Vince said, okay. And then they picked Randy Orton and Batista. Batista got hurt within a month after they were starting the angle, so then they had to wait. They had to wait like 7 months for him to because he tried to come back too early and then ripped the bone off. The Evolution episode of Ruthless Aggression is amazing. I watched it like 3 times already. It's incredible. Matter of fact, I want to watch it again. And the Brock Lesnar one that they just aired on Monday. The John Cena one was
dude.
dope.
I thought this show just started. How many episodes have they done?
Now.
Okay.
Every one of them's been great. Like the first one when they lay the foundation with the fact that Stone, the Rock is seeing Hollywood lights. Stone Cold didn't tell everybody that he was retiring at WrestleMania 19, so he just walked off. So they didn't make a big production of it. He just because Stone Cold even said, he's like, I knew it was my last match, but I didn't tell him. And so, and he said, I felt like, Rock had put me over at 2 other WrestleManias, and he was hurt going into that match. And matter of fact, he said within like 72 hours, he was dehydrated. They had to fill him with fluids. And he was like, there was no way I was not going to show up and put The Rock over after he put me over on 2 WrestleManias. And so they were filling him full of fluids and stuff. And he showed up, obviously did the favors for The Rock. And then he didn't even tell Vince that, hey, I'm done. He just walked off. And, but like I said, they touched on that on the first episode of Ruthless Aggression about, the company was starting to, because they actually showed, how when the seats are empty, they just kind of close in on where people are sitting and stuff.
Yeah.
On behind the scenes on the Ruthless Aggression show, they were like, attendance is down, and you saw so many of them empty seats. I mean, when they did that wide shot, you saw them empty seats. I was like, whoa.
Did you listen to Cornette? I guess it was last week when he reviewed Raw, and he was talking about the new entrance set. He's like, I like that new entrance set. It takes up so much space that can cover all those empty seats in the arena.
Well, because the fans and people, I saw there was a professional wrestler that got mad at a fan. He had went to an all elite wrestling show. He took a couple of photos of empty seats, and the guy quote tweeted him and got mad. I can't remember who it was, but he got a little upset that the guy was saying that they didn't.
It's everywhere, man. People talk about AEW and them covering up seats. WWE is doing the same thing. Wrestling, not just wrestling, man. Sports events. Attendance is down.
You gotta recognize this was like 2001 though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's when it was. Well, how hot was it in 2001? Coming out of the Attitude Era,
well,
it was
Vince
starting
crushed
to die
WCW.
Down. Yeah.
Once he crushed WCW, I would say everything's different because Stone Cold was even saying this. You go back and watch his Broken Skull session interview with Goldberg, where he was talking about they were between the 2 shows, it was 10 million people a night watching. They were both averaging either 4.55 million. Then right there towards the end, WWE had gotten over 6. I remember the Monday Night War series that's on WWE Network is incredible. Because one thing they would do in all the episodes, they would start showing where the ratings were shifting. And then, the Mick Foley going over, and Tony Schiavone said, that'll put asses in seats. There was a noticeable shift on the ratings where people switched the channel to see Mick Foley win the championship.
Sure.
And then after that, they just, there was one night where Nitro came back and won again, and then they went back. It was like that.
Was that the end of the 83 weeks? Wasn't it 83 weeks straight?
It was 83 weeks in a row that they won.
And then the Mick Foley episode is when it switched.
Yeah, it switched, but there was another episode where Nitro won, but they barely won, and then it went right back on to WWE, just winning. And then the attendance was just got worse and worse and worse. Matter of fact, that episode they did the episode where DX showed up to the Georgia Dome or wherever the hell that was in Atlanta, where WCW was having that event, and they couldn't sell out, and they were giving away free tickets. Anyone could come if you just wanted to come in, and so they just needed to fill the TV up. So
but have you ever heard that Bischoff said he wished they would have opened the door?
Yeah.
He said, what's the worst that could have happened? He said, I wish because can you imagine if Raw was Raw, that had to be taped. That had to be taped. There's no way.
Both shows were live at the time.
So it was live
because Bischoff was spoiling the events every week, so they had to go live.
So if they had opened that garage door, WWE's got a decision: either we come in swinging, or we powder and we look like we're not ready to fight. So if he had opened that door, it may have changed everything. It really may have. I
remember even in Vince, because Kevin Nash even said, we should have countered and went. They were just like a couple of blocks away at the other building. Because they both had shows in Atlanta. Because Vince has said this, especially when they were hot. Their product has never gone over as well in the South as it did in the North and in the West Coast. They're seen as something else, especially back in the like Mid-South days and stuff. WWE product or WWF product at that time was not seen as real wrestling. The real wrestling is just Southern wrestling. So Vince, even though Vince grew up in a trailer in North Carolina, he hated the South. And he didn't understand. He was like, when they took over Georgia Championship Wrestling, people were pissed because, you know, it was on, you had WWE stars on TBS and it just wasn't the same. It just really wasn't, you know, they were like, what is this bullshit wrestling? This is not, I want Ric Flair back, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, the Jim Crockett wrestlers. So
I want to go after some of these chats. Can we hit some of this chat? Ken Jack Ben says, I don't even know why I'm watching this. I've not watched wrestling in forever. Not since Yokozuna got body slammed on the aircraft carrier. I would highly encourage you. Well, I don't know, dude. If you're going back that far, you may never want to watch wrestling again. It is so different. I was going to encourage you to watch AEW tonight on TNT at 8:00. But man, if that's the last thing you saw, let's hit this one too. Hit that one.
Which one?
The one you got up right now.
Yeah, man. Well, again, the biggest names at AEW are the elder statesmen formerly of the WWE. Does that legitimize AEW or make them the new TNA? Well, I mean, WCW did the same thing, hiring all the hot WWF stars, and you know, doing that because Kevin Nash has talked about it. He said, I didn't want to go over there. He said, these are the guys that put me in a green outfit and called me the Wizard. He was Oz. And when I see that, they had his hair like white, and he had when they had him,
it was awful.
I couldn't believe that was legit. I couldn't believe that was for, you know. And I remember, I remembered Razor Ramon as the Diamond Stud, and then he came over to WWF, and he was Razor Ramon.
I loved Razor Ramon. Though.
Yeah,
that was a great character. But I don't think that's what AEW is doing. I think you got to pick and choose the right people. But you know, if you're going to cross that million, which I think they hit 1 million viewers tonight with all this Matt Hardy news, I think they finally hit 1 million tonight. But you got to pick and choose the right guys. If you don't, if you had the title on Darby Allin, nobody's going to believe that. Even Kenny Omega, who some people think is the best wrestler on the planet right now,
I keep hearing that, but I don't
Jericho validates that title. Dropping it to Moxley validates that title. Somebody that a WWE casual. There's a difference between people like me and you and Bob and Yule, people that are obsessed with the product. A casual fan flipping the channel, they see Darby Allin, they think, who is this idiot? They see Kenny Omega, who is this guy? They see John Moxley, oh, wait, isn't that Dean Ambrose from the WWE? I'm going to sit here and watch this. So there has to be a balance, right? You got to have name recognition. You got to have it.
I don't know. Like, I have some thoughts about Revolution. It was an okay pay-per-view. There were some good moments in there, but boy, there was some stuff in there that I was like, it was a lot of filler and it wasn't killer. You know,
I can't wait to hear what Yule has to say, but I think it's going to be similar to what you're saying. And I don't want to go too far into it. I want to save it for the Wrestling Council tomorrow night, right here on Akari Press, 9:00 Eastern time. We'll have a full review of Revolution, Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown, the whole 9 yards. But what I will say about it, going into the pay-per-view, I was excited. Yep. Every match felt like it meant something. And then, what was it? Who was it I was just listening to? It was somebody from AEW just this week. And they were talking about.
I saw the Young Bucks thing. I haven't gotten through all of it. I need to list. But it's like I've been so busy trying to get everything set up, you know.
Yeah. Well, somebody talking about their match, their favorite match or their best matches, and the person said, I'm so pissed that I can't remember who it was, said, I'm more about the build up to the match. That's what's important to me. And I think that AEW delivered that with Revolution. I have not been excited about a pay-per-view in so long. But Saturday I was excited.
I thought MJF Cody was legit. I really
the main event was great.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting Moxley to go over, but
I told you guys in the private chat, I said the way this pay-per-view is playing out, Moxley's winning the title. That's just the way I felt, the tone of the pay-per-view.
I was like, I don't know. I just, but you know, I've said this before. I kind of wish that Jericho had waited and crowned Cody. That's what I was kind of, you know, maybe a couple more months and then pass it to Cody. I felt like Cody should be the next guy, but maybe Cody maybe Cody is like, I don't want to be like my dad and keep putting myself in the main events and all this kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, for Cody to put over MJF, I mean, he's just continuing to build up other people,
which is smart from a business standpoint.
Right. Sure,
because that's the thing. Dusty was a great booker, but he put himself in a couple of angles with Ric Flair and stuff, where he wasn't in his prime anymore. Because like even when he went to WWF with the polka dots, he was like 41, 42 at that time. Yeah. He's just a common man. I was like, okay. And they had, what was the black lady that they put him with? I can't
remember her name, dude.
Oh God, yeah.
I can't remember her name.
They put her, but they put her with the whole thing. Put him with there's a great Dusty Rhodes documentary that they put together on WWE Network too, and he was just like, he said, I don't know if the polka dots were a rib or not. And Vince,
it had to be. It had to be.
But Vince said it wasn't. He just thought that the polka dots would look good on Dusty.
I do not believe that at all.
Like, Sapphire.
Okay, there you
Sapphire.
go.
Yeah. Okay. I see you. All right. So yeah, Sapphire. But yeah, Sapphire, who apparently had been an old NWA, wrestling plant from what's that guy that used to own the St. Louis territory? He used to be president of the NWA, but apparently she would work with some of the black wrestlers there, because they had them in different rooms. And yeah, but the woman that was Sapphire, that's her background. She used to help the wrestlers. She used to go pick them up at the bus station and all that. That was her job. And so she knew a lot of wrestling people. So when they picked somebody, they picked her for whatever reason. I don't know, man, but Vince said it wasn't a rib.
That's a lie. Look what he does to guys now. Look what he does to him. Look what he did to Shorty G. Are you serious?
No.
You're taking one half of one of the best tag teams in the freaking company. You split the tag team up. Where is Jason Jordan? You humiliated him. You made him Kurt Angle's son for some reason.
Oh,
and now you made Chad Gable freaking Shorty G and put him in basketball shorts. And poor guys out there trying to get it over. He's trying to get it over.
And someone had said that they picked the wrong guy to be. They had the other guy, which I guess would have been Shorty G, and Shorty G should have been Kurt Angle's son.
It would have made perfect sense. And Vince is like, no.
They tried to be woke.
Yeah.
And but when you hear Vince on a lot of these interviews, like I said, he's in the Dusty Rhodes thing going, no, it wasn't a rib. I thought that was best thing to kind of help him with his character and get him over. He really just like watch him on the Beyond the Mat when they brought Draws in there and he found out the guy could puke. Yeah, the whole thing. And Vince is so casual about everything. He's like, oh, so you can vomit on demand. Can you do that for me now?
He does stuff just to entertain himself. It's so obvious.
I'm saying it wasn't a rib. I honestly think that's just hearing the stuff that Jim Cornette says about him. Vince is kind of aloof. He really is just like, Vince could be like, you're fired, kiss my ass and get out. And then 5 years later, you're hot. And he's like, hey, Johnny, you want to come back and work for me?
Yeah, of course.
And he's shocked that, that was something Jim Cornette said. He said, you could sue him, all kind of stuff. And a couple years will pass and he'll call you up and say, hey, Johnny, it's Vince. Water under the bridge, bro. I got some ideas for you. You want to come work for me?
That's a good businessman, though. If you can do that.
that's a good businessman, and that's why you would see Bruno Sammartino, where Triple H, they had reached out to him a few times, and then Triple H is like, let me try.
Yeah.
And then and even on that documentary for Bruno on the WWE Network, Vince laughed and he said, good luck with that. And then Triple H talked to him and he was like, I'm willing to, but Bruno had some concerns because of some of the bullshit wrestling he had been seeing, some of the stuff that they had been doing during the Attitude Era that he does not see. That's what I'm saying. Bruno Sammartino's old school, and he didn't believe that was he would sound like Jim Cornette on a lot of this stuff about people exposing the business, doing gimmicks, someone giving birth to a hand. Stuff like that happened on he doesn't consider that wrestling. And Triple H said, "Have you watched the product lately?" He said, "We've shifted from that. We're not doing that anymore." And he said Bruno watched a couple of episodes, and he was like, "Okay, this looks like good wrestling," and he agreed to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Vince was happy to see him because that was someone that had worked for his father and all of, you know what I'm saying? He was real happy to see him. But that's the thing. I'm taking Vince at his word. I don't believe the polka dots was a goof. I think he really thought that was, hey, this is what you look at what he did, like how Junkyard Dog was in Cowboy Bill Watts' territory, and when he came up to WWF, it's not the same guy.
Yeah.
And he had about another 30 pounds of gut. You know,
I still love Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, I do too. But he was taking his theme song a little too serious. He was grabbing them cakes, and you look at him when he was wrestling for Cowboy, he was in shape, brother. You know, same with Coco Beware. Coco Beware was in shape when he was down there wrestling with Jerry Lawler and them. He was Sweet Brown Sugar. He comes up to. That was he got progressively out of shape as he got more successful.
Yeah.
Even Frankie looked like he had been eating some chicken wings. And I was like, oh, you know, that's I don't know what's going on, but like when you get to that level and you don't take care of yourself, it's a wrap, bro. It's really not Yeah,
do you think there's a comment there in the chat that I was thinking earlier when you were talking about Triple H and what he did with Bruno, and I think he was involved with Ultimate Warrior getting inducted too. I think he mended some fences there. Do you think Vince will ever turn it over to Triple H? Akeem
was a rib on Dusty, yeah, if you will.
Yeah,
what's the African dream, Akeem?
Virgil was a rib on Dusty.
Now that was a rib on Dusty,
yeah.
Just like. But that's why when he came over to WCW, they changed his name to Vincent. That was a rib.
Yeah, 100%. How many people do you know named Virgil other than Dusty Rhodes?
Yeah, so yeah, that's but here's the thing. I thought Vince was setting it up to turn it over to Triple H because he thinks Stephanie is more like him. He said Jim Ross said that Vince told him that Stephanie was more like him and that Shane was more like his mother. And so Shane was upset that he saw his power slipping away in the company. And that's why he left and he was trying to start some kind of Chinese app company or something. He had investors and
Shane was?
Yeah. Then when he left, he was doing some kind of Chinese app. It was supposed to be some kind of entertainment app. And I don't know how successful that. Matter of fact, I can look it up, but like I said, the information is online. But that's what Shane was like. I'm doing that, and then for whatever reason, he decided to come back. But they're saying that Shane is the heir apparent, and him and Vince have reconciled, and that Shane's going to be the heir apparent, not Triple H. And
it's so dumb because look what Triple H has done. They have given Triple H control of NXT, and look what he's done. No. I know he's not, but his wife is.
But his wife is.
Give it to Stephanie. Give it to Stephanie and let Triple H run it, man.
Stephanie's an idiot. Even Jericho.
Let Triple H run. Triple H he could save the WWE. Look, watching Raw this week, I'm just like, and listening to Cornette review Raw, I'm just like, yes, he is saying everything that I'm thinking. It's like they were talking about the interviews backstage. And you got Charlie Caruso standing there with the microphone. They zoom in on her. And she's like, "Oh, I've got Antonio Bryce here. Antonio, how are you doing?" And then they zoom in on your face, and you're like, and then they zoom out, and we're both in the panel. It's like, why? Who shoots TV like that? Or they show people in the back watching TV standing up.
Yeah, I love
who
those
does
shots.
That? Why does he? And why is every commercial break 2 guys got to go to the floor and square off? And it's like, Raw continues next. And it's like, God, it's just so stupid, man. It's so dumb. Vince is I don't understand how he's so successful and so stupid at the same time.
Oh, man, and Lunacy Shane should join AEW. That would be the beginning. That would be insanity, unless they about to give him like $100 million or something. I mean, I wouldn't understand. That would be a dumb move. Your family owns a large sports entertainment empire. Going over to AEW because the numbers are, at least these are probably not real numbers, but I heard Jim Cornette saying this about Tony Khan that they're losing at least 30 to 40 million of these on these first few years just to build the business. just trying to, at least $30 to $40 million per quarter or something, trying to build All Elite Wrestling up. But obviously they've been picked up for another 3 years and all that. And, they're adding more pay-per-views. The ratings are stable, but there needs to be growth. I don't know if we can get back to those days where we had, even if they could get to 2 million or 3 million fans, that would be great for the wrestling business as a whole.
If you're going to competing with NXT, I was talking at the comic shop today. I went to pick up my stuff and somebody was asking how many views AEW gets. And it's like, AEW is getting killed. You can't say, oh, they're winning the Wednesday Night Wars, because NXT doesn't matter. That's developmental. Yeah. If AEW is going to be legit, you got to be competing with Raw and SmackDown. That's where it's at.
Would you have been happy if Matt Hardy had taken the offer? Because apparently that was the last ditch effort that WWE was telling Matt that, hey, we'll send you to NXT. And you can kind of do what you want down there. We'll kind of give you free reign. And he passed on it.
I think Matt Hardy has a mindset like Chris Jericho. I want to change the universe. Forget I can stay in WWE and it doesn't matter. Whereas if I go to AEW and we make it relevant, that's leaving a legacy. And Matt Hardy, when he comes out on WWE TV, I'm bored to tears. Absolutely bored to tears, because he's not the Matt Hardy from the Attitude Era that's having TLC matches. The Matt Hardy I want is the Matt Hardy from Impact, when they gave him complete control and said, do your thing. I think they'll let him do that in AEW. I don't want to even see him wrestle. I just want to see him.
He is broken. I mean, that's the truth. He really is.
Yeah. The dude can't even walk. Look at him when he gets up. He's like straight-legged.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just not the same. Unless you're gonna go back on the painkiller regimen, it's just not gonna work. And obviously, I'm waiting on Jeff. I know Jeff will follow his brother there once his contract. I mean, he's coming. He's cleared, and he's about to come back and start wrestling on TV again. But he still has like about 6 months on because of the injury clause on the contract.
Jeff,
so.
You talking about Jeff? What are you talking about?
Okay,
yeah. I knew he was still under contract.
Yeah, but I'm saying they were just saying that he's been cleared to come back, and he's supposed to start within the next few weeks back on television. He's probably doing some dark stuff, trying to get back in ring shape or whatever, But yeah, he's got like 6 more months on his contract because of the injury. Just like, the one person in the Revival still has like another 3 or 4 months after the partner is out. I remember hearing that because one of them was out, so they're sticking it to him and doing the injury clause thing and making them stay. So
see, and I love them. I think they're a great tag team, and I think the AEW crowd would love them being there. Do you think they pull any viewers?
It's hard now with the way television is now, because the way television is so different from when I was a kid and when you were a kid. Television was like, when I was a kid, there was like 3 channels and PBS.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing some of the UHF channels and that kind of thing. It just, there wasn't much out. So maybe when I was a kid, unless I had cable, I could only watch maybe 6 channels locally.
Right.
CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS, and then, 1 or 2, like in Nashville. Nashville had 2 UHF stations. So that was my choices. WZTV. There wasn't even a Fox then, so it was just WCTV, which was just an offshoot channel that was showing like Andy Griffith reruns and Small Wonder and all that. They used to run all the syndicated shows, Star Trek: The Next Generation, all that. That's why I used to watch that. It was on Fox. And then there was Channel 30, which was a UHF station, and then CBS and ABC and NBC, and that was. There wasn't really a lot of choices then, unless you had cable. If you had cable. Then, because like I said, there wasn't a Fox. There was no Fox when I was a little boy. And then around 87, 88, Fox became a network. And even when they were a network, they were only broadcast. They only had broadcast television like 2 nights a week. And then they expanded to Wednesdays. And they didn't even have a 7-day schedule because they just didn't have that many shows. So they started off, they were like, okay, we're gonna do a 2-hour block on Sunday. And we'll do something on Monday. And then after that, the network had to fill in. Then they just started expanding. I mean, it's crazy to see that. And now you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of channels on cable. You got there's people that don't even have cable, and there's internet channels and stuff. And that's why some of these outlaw mud shows, as Jim Cornette called, they're just wrestling on the internet and getting decent numbers.
Yep.
So that's the business is different. I look at Matt Hardy can get numbers on his channel, the Bucks, the Elite channel. You look at their streaming numbers, they've got like 300,000 or 400,000 subscribed to their channel. I think it's like they get great numbers on there.
Wrestling in general is not going to pull the same number of views. I don't think we're ever going to see the 5 million you were talking about earlier, but for AEW, you got to hit 2 to 3 million, which is what WWE's pulling. That's fair. I think that's a fair comparison. So what do they do to get there? That's you'll.
Oh yeah, I see you. I'm hanging with Boogie right now. I'll see you tomorrow. And then let's see. Kenjack Ben, alliteration is important for your wrestling brand, and it's even better if it's an acronym, if the initials can spell a word. When does that ever happen, though? I mean, seriously, NWA is not a word. WWF isn't a word. WWE isn't a word. TNA, I know what TNA, but yeah, I knew what TNA is.
Now they've already changed it. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah,
it's Impact Wrestling.
It's Impact.
It's garbage, is what it is. Oh, AEW has become stale. How so?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's become stale.
Oh man,
I think that the last few weeks have actually been pretty good because we talked about it on the council. They got into a couple of spots where I was like, they don't seem like they know what they're doing. Everybody's botching shit and stuff like that. And it just seemed like as they were getting closer to Revolution, they total nonstop action my ass.
How about this checkpoint right here saying what happened during the peak in the late 80s and the early 90s and again in the mid 2000s? Let me tell you guys something. Wrestling goes in cycles, right? It goes up and then it comes back down. It becomes cool and then it goes back down. And I told some guys a couple of years ago, they're regular listeners to the Wrestling Council. I don't know if they'll hear this today, but I told them when Bullet Club was starting to peak in New Japan, I said, we are on the verge of a wrestling boom. You may not believe it. You may think I'm crazy. They said I was an idiot. It's coming. It's coming. And AEW is the start of that. I think AEW's success determines whether or not I'm right and we're on the verge of a wrestling boom, or I'm wrong and I'm an idiot and don't know what I'm talking about. But I got a nickname on the Wrestling Council, and I make some predictions, and they come true. So wait and see what happens.
Bookstradamus but Testify HD, Cody's neck tattoo is unforgivable. That tattoo is horrible.
Why did he not get it in a regular,
oh God, in a normal
place? But if it was in a decent place, it would have been fine. But it's just terrible. When he came out, I tweeted out. I was live tweeting from the Wrestling Council Twitter. It's at Wrestle Council. If anybody, I never live tweet, but AEW, I'm watching live. I was live tweeting, and I was like, first of all, that live band was trash. And
every live performance, they had Downstate, and
they were awful.
That Chicago choir thing that Jericho used, and the woman that sang the national anthems, they were all horrible. Every one of them.
That band sounded like
Downstate. They were horrible. They actually, and it was so funny because Downstate actually sings Cody's theme song,
and it sounds good.
That actually.
It sounds good. Right, exactly. It sounded horrible live.
So the band that actually sings your theme song comes out to sing it live, and it's horrible. It's so bad.
It was bad.
God, it was.
I was embarrassed for him, man.
And it was the black lady singing for Jericho. It's like, you just.
I'll be honest. I didn't. I kind of like that. I kind of dug the choir. I kind of dug the choir. And I like that they pitched to the actual song when he came out. But
oh God, everyone, and like I said, national anthem, horrible. Battle cry. No, Kingdom. That's Cody's theme song. So they sang Downstate sings Kingdom. It was horrible. And then Judas with the choir was horrible. All of them, I was like, oh God, it was like and they didn't have an attractive choir. There were too many fatties in there.
It's usually fat people that can sing well, man.
That's true. And I'm as a fat person, but when I'm looking on TV, I want them to do like they did with the CNC Music Factory. They hired the fat woman, Martha Walsh, to sing the hook. But when they shot the video, they got the little skinny black girl in there to sing. And then she sued them. She sued them because they screwed her and everything. But I need And as a fat person, I'm saying at first I was like, "Hey, I'm fat. That's wrong." But then I saw her, and then I saw the skinny black girl, and I said, "I understand why they did that."
Never been more right. There's a good chat there too that says long-term solution for New Japan and AEW is to merge, but they both got to get. Wow, it disappeared. I can't see it now. Did you see what Tony Khan said after Revolution? He said, we're open. We're letting our guys work for New Japan. We have an open relationship. But for some reason, they don't ever call me.
Reciprocate?
Yeah. It's a one-way street at this point.
Yeah, I just
but I don't know that New Japan talent is going to draw in the United States. The guys that we talk about and like, other than Bob, who is obsessed with New Japan, everybody we like is not from Japan. Like there's a few guys there but I still don't know that they would draw. Don't know that they would draw.
Oh, fine. Oh, no, hallelujah. Music is my life. Everybody dance now.
Dude, I was so into it. When you and Kanan were singing the other. Oh, it was so good. I was like, yeah. I love it.
Kanan's my dude, and I'm looking forward. Kanan's gonna be here on Sunday. I'm picking him up at 11 o'clock, I think, at the airport, and at 11 in the morning on a Sunday. Got to pick him up at Nashville, and I'm looking. I'm just very excited to have Kanan here. We're gonna start signing these books and doing all that. I'm just really excited, just after all this work to actually have both of the creators here. And
that's the campaign doing. We can talk. This isn't the Wrestling Council. This is just a live stream. We can talk about the book.
Well, I wasn't really here to shill.
We can shill, man. This is not the Wrestling Council. We can do whatever we want.
I didn't put Wrestling Council in the title.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We could do whatever we want.
Although, this is not the Wrestling Council, but Way of the Gun is up, and we've got some backers, which is awesome. I'm actually looking on it now because I know we're getting close to $6,000, and so we're at $5,901 on the campaign. There, we're getting there. Now, we'll go over when Kanan gets here because I've got some stuff that I'm going to send out that'll get us there. But
you just I'm
just saving it. I'm saving some of the little tricks in my bag until Kanan gets here. Because
what about any tricks for tiers? So you going to talk about anything else that you're going to offer as tiers?
Seriously considering, because I've had some people say, "Are you going to do the drawing? Get drawn into the book tier? Do that again?" I definitely want to do. Kanan bitched about every one of those, though. I was like, that's the thing. And I tell Kanan's like, it's not that it's like you don't understand the kind of work. And I was like, I do understand the kind of work, but I also
understand money.
Yeah, I understand money. So, but yeah, I was very happy that we were able to knock those off the plate there, and I'm happy. Kanan's work on the new book is incredible. I'm really excited about that. Enjoyed watching him draw some of the stuff yesterday. Watch him draw Bibbit and Bobbit. Watch him draw Lore. Book characters that will debut in Way of the Gun, by the way. And I just think we're gonna have. It's gonna be awesome. I just think Way of the Gun is awesome. And like I said, I'm happy to see that. We're over 6,000. Almost at 6,000, and like I said, I think it's gonna get there, and then. Hopefully within the next few weeks, Ethan will, he's knocking out all these other covers, which that new Vampirella cover with Salamandroid looks hot. I saw that she was backing that ass up on him or something. Looked like dipping her hand in some blood honey. He's got to explain that to me because wasps don't make honey. I don't know. I've tried to ask him about that because wasps don't make honey. And he said there's the Vespas. And he admitted that he styled them on paper wasps. Even if you look at their ships, their hive ships, they look like the paper wasp nest. They're not bees. So how do they make honey? Because wasps
never crossed my mind.
Because I was reading so much about bees because of Brand.
Oh yeah,
I know. Yeah, wasps don't make honey. So wasps don't make honey, but his Vespas make honey out of the blood. And in that new cover that he's got, Vampirella is dipping her hand into honey, but it's blood honey. It's honey, I guess, which I guess works for her because she's a vampire and she drinks blood or whatever. But I am curious about that because wasps don't make honey. There in a lot of times, especially with beekeeping, a lot of the beekeeping channels I watch, wasps are like alpha predators and stuff. They prey on beehives, especially or hornets, especially. They'll go. I saw a video where
I can't let that slide. A lot of the beekeeping channels I watch. That's some serious research.
I like beekeeping relaxes me. I like watching the bees.
Obviously, I'm the creator, the founder, the godfather of Talking Vols, a UT football podcast. Yeah. Phil Fulmer, the Tennessee athletic director, actually is involved in beekeeping, and they use his honey to make. I can't remember the brewing company, but they make a ale with the honey.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the beekeeping channels you watch.
Well, okay, you say some wasps make honey. Okay, well, I know they a lot of the wasps. I'd have to look into that more, but from what I see, they make they're more predator. They're more predatory, and they tend to be scavengers and stuff. Like they say, oh, these bees over here grinding and making some honey. Let's roll up and rob their ass, and they might get a couple of their wasp buddies. I saw the video. I saw it was like. There were only like 4 wasps, and they rolled up on this hive. They must have killed about 10, 15,000 bees. Just those 4. They had the size, and they would kill. They killed so many bees. They about wiped that hive out. It was insane, and they just wanted to rob their honey. They steal honey. I know wasps steal honey. They don't. I've not seen them make it, but like I said, I can research on that. And I can look more into it, but and they definitely don't. Like I said, Ethan's ships clearly are paper nests. They're not the. They're not. The paper nests look kind of like honeycombs, but he's got the kind of wriggly pattern that the paper gets and all that kind of thing. So,
this might be Pete Comics Gate. We're talking about bees.
I'm like, yeah, as far as Cosmos said, brother, aliens from space, the Earth rules don't apply. I'm just saying, from a real. I don't know why he didn't just make them bees. I don't know why he didn't just make the Vespers bees. But either way, yeah, it's like when people.
It's a strange turn.
And man and Lucy, in general, wasps are assholes who hate you. There's a bunch of YouTube videos on that too, where guys make these videos. It's like, I'm about to fuck up this wasp now.
No, dude, yellow jackets are the worst.
Way
worse. Dude, there's nothing worse than mowing the yard and running over a yellow jacket's nest. I've never ran so fast in my life, and it happens usually once a year. It's awful.
I gotta get this one. Hold on. Mecca McCheese, maybe the wasp got them bee cap. So we're talking about bee slavery here. They've got bee slavery.
Is that racist?
Yeah, it's insectists or something. I don't know. It's like, but apparently you've got some wasps that are capturing. They got like bees in chains singing Negro spirituals, making honey and stuff. And that's.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's making me uncomfortable now. This is I'm not sure if I can read my copies of Blood Honey the same way now. I have so many questions for you, Ethan. Hopefully you can answer them for me one day. But
very important.
Man. Oh no, Yule is crazy. Hold up. Yule, that's funny, Yule. It was like bees are for Bernie. Oh God, feel the burn. Oh, God. Who's gonna win that?
All I know, I'm not here to talk politics, but all I know was I was scrolling through Facebook today, and the left were eating themselves. They were fighting amongst each other.
No, I got too many liberals in my family, and they send me stuff. I keep telling them, I was like, I'm conservative. I think they think they're trying to save me. It's like, I'll convince him. He'll see. And I point out all the horrible shit that liberals have done to the black community. They go, no, that's the old Democrat. It's not. I was like, even Bill Clinton signing that crime bill and locking up people for like 10, 20 years on little petty shit and just destroying families, which he said, he said that the black leaders were asking him to do that, but it had an unintended effect. I'm just saying. Either way, I am curious to see who they're going to serve up to our president. And
Biden and Bernie are the only ones left. Those are the two. Like the Bernie fans are like eating the Biden fans alive, and the Biden fans are fighting. It's like I just sit back and watch, man.
Well, somebody said the other day, I was looking, I saw some people, and this is crazy. That's why I don't post political shit on my Facebook. I saw two friends that I knew they were friends. We were mutual friends, but they started talking about politics and argue with each other on Facebook. And then someone said, I just think Hillary's waiting on all this to die out, and she's gonna jump in last minute and run against Trump.
Okay.
And I'm like, boy, unless she's raising money right now, that would be a mistake because she only got a couple more months. Although I think if she dropped in right now, she could raise a lot of money immediately. I mean, but Bernie's raising a lot of money. So I don't know. I just honestly, but Bernie got the Obama endorsement. So I think Obama has directed the Negroes to vote for Bernie. And yeah.
Oh, one of the arguments I saw today was something about black people, not was it Biden? Which one was it? Was it Sanders or Biden? Some saying that they didn't win over the black vote like they should have. That's what I saw people arguing about. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know, man.
Well, the polling, I saw someone had some screenshots of an MSNBC debate, and the polling between the candidates between blacks and Latinos is so split. Like the blacks voted for Biden by like 60% down there in Texas, and Hispanics were like they were at like 40 some odd percent for Bernie, and it just wasn't. We weren't on the same. But they always talk about that black and brown coalition, and we're all going to vote in the same block or whatever. So it's crazy. So the whole thing is jacked up. Yeah, there you
go. The chat's calling you fat and saying we can't talk about politics.
Yeah, well, I am fat, but I own my fatness. Although I was very happy. I went to my doctor yesterday morning, and I have lost another 6 pounds from when my last visit was. So that was awesome.
Are you doing something, or are you just luck?
I'm exercising and trying to change some of the diet, but I need to exercise more. I need to, I'm trying to get into my bikini before Kanan comes and sweeps me off my feet on Sunday. But
you gonna lay on the couch while he draws you? Is that what's gonna happen? Is that's
oh
the
no,
secret
that would
tier.
be
That's the secret tier. I would
no.
pay for that.
Oh, that would be horrible. No one would like to see that.
Dude, I work out and I do jiu-jitsu and I do all this stuff, but I still like to drink and eat pizza.
Yeah. I would like you to teach me jiu-jitsu, and hopefully you would work me out one time and I would have a heart attack. That would not be
best workout you could ever do. Like I'm serious. You would love it. You would love it, dude. You should do it. Come up here and you can go with me, man. It's fun. It's so much fun.
I'll be like, I'll do like one stance. I'll do a kata or something. I'll be.
We don't do katas. We strangle people and we do joint manipulation. We don't dance and act like idiots like people that do karate. Sorry,
God, that would not be good. But this is I don't know. Like the IndieGoGo would kick your campaign off.
No way, dude.
Yeah, that would not be good.
IndieGoGo likes money.
I was like, please, God, this thing is like a possessed tiki doll. It won't leave us. It's just,
I'm Brad Noble. I'm not a small white fella at all. I angle the camera properly and flex my traps so it looks like I'm.
So, how big is the spare tire? Because
I got one, dude.
I can show the spare tire is real. That's why I was like, it was so funny. Kanan's drawing these pictures of he's got like naked David in these early pages and stuff. Because it was so funny. He started. I told him I thought he was going to draw Kanan. I thought Kanan was going to draw David with some boxer shorts on. Now personally, he's listened to me, and I do admit that I do sleep nude, and David was sleeping nude. So when he woke up, he was naked as a jaybird in these pages that Kanan drew.
So great. I love that scene, dude.
So I was like, he really don't have a pair of boxer shorts on. It's awkward though, because he's standing there with Melissa butt ass naked and she's got clothes on. and they're just standing there like, oh, okay, let me help you straighten your room out and do all this kind of thing. I was like, wait, one of them's nude, and the other one has clothes on. Although it later becomes both of them are nude. And oh God, it was. I was like, oh God, no, it's not. I was like, hold up, let me see. Oh, this is Brad Nova. Angle of the white dude is racist. Everything's racist now. Although it was funny, I tweeted. What was the article? Did you see the article I tweeted out?
At Olive Garden.
Yeah, the Olive Garden.
What the heck, man?
Yeah, young lady spazzed out at the Olive Garden, and she didn't want a person of color, a Negro, waiting on her, and they obliged her and swapped out. Now I get it though, because someone said, hey, in other restaurants, sometimes you have to do that if the customer's paying. You do what the customer wants. But I've worked at places. I know. Hell, I work in a fast food restaurant. If the customer, a customer will be too belligerent, and the manager will be like, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry, we can't serve you." Yeah, and just move on.
Well, there's a line. The customer is not always right. There's a line there.
But I mean, I figured that the customer at the Olive Garden is going to be spending more than that, like $10, $12 that they spend at Hardee's.
It's Olive Garden. How much are they going to spend?
I don't know. They got the $20 bowl of unlimited pasta or whatever the hell with some bread.
So racism is allowed for $20 or more.
What did Earthquake say in Jay and Solid Bob? The Passion of the Clerks. He said you can't taste racism. So yeah, Earthquake said that in. But they also had that great line about ass to mouth, and I thought that was awesome. Yeah, because I was always I applauded Rosario Dawson for that line.
Dude, a naked Antonio plushie would be money.
No,
that is like a license to print money. Dude, I'm telling you, that's where it's at.
There is no plans for a naked Antonio plushie, but I just thought I was confused when Kanan sent me the scene because number one, the page looked great. But all of a sudden, I'm standing there. I'm saying me, it's David Craven, but it's obviously patted on me. And I'm standing there butt naked, standing next to Melissa. And she's clothed. And I was like, But that would be realistic because I do sleep in the nude. I don't sleep with clothing. So but I thought, a lot of times when we've discussed, and he even told me, he showed me the layouts, and he was like, there will be nudity. And I said, you're actually going to draw nudity?
Just you?
Yes. And
that's amazing. That is amazing.
No, in the layout, you could see that she didn't have her top on. They were about to have sex. And I was like, is he going, because I thought he was going to wuss out and put a bra on her or something. He said, no, I think it serves the story, so I'm willing to draw it.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. He said, if it serves the story, then he will draw the nudity.
Okay, I wish Kanan was here. I would tell him to stick to his guns to make those decisions. Don't let you run his life.
Because I did in the script, I said, I understand you might need to cover some stuff up, but I mean, because I hate that when I watch on TV and the couple's in bed and the girl's got like her nightgown on after they apparently had just got through having sex. I was like, oh, okay, so why don't we just start doing it through the sheet now or something? I don't know. You just put a hole in the sheet and that's the way we do. What was that? I saw that on Larry David's, the Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was I think it was one of the a group of Jews that they believe that like nudity is shameful or whatever, and so when they make love, they make love to the wife with a sheet. There's a hole. Yeah, well, I mean it's the truth. And the matter of fact, what's the chick? Gina Gershon was the Jewish woman that Larry David, he wanted to mess with her or something, and they were gonna have to make love through the sheet. So it was hilarious. The whole thing, Curb Your Enthusiasm is too much. But I was like, I love that show, but I'm just curious about stuff like that. But Kanan and I have, because when the Hall of Fame scene happened in book 1, there was supposed to be a lot more nudity in that particular scene. And then we had to argue about where the nudity was going to, because he drew this and everybody had like sports bras on. I was like, dude, they're hookers. And it was really It was really annoying. I was
you're corrupting him. Poor Kanan. Poor Kanan has standards, and you're corrupting him.
But I mean, here's the thing. He knew what the deal was before he accepted the job. I did tell him that I did want the book to be mature. I was like, if they have sex, because like I've got scenes later on, you know, like David and Dawn are like laying in bed, they're waking up, she wakes up in the morning, she goes under the cover, or he might go under the cover. Stuff like that is going to happen. There's going to be threesomes and all kind of stuff like that happen.
Oh God, you're just warming him up. You're getting him warmed up.
I've been very honest with him about this, and he was like, "Oh, do it tastefully." I was like, "How do you do a tasteful threesome?" He was like, "I'm doing a tasteful threesome."
I got a stream with you and Kanan. Like the three of us would be.
I tried to get you in yesterday.
I was working, dude. I was at work.
You didn't want to be on the stream with black people. Admit that.
Okay.
Own your racism,
that's
Boogie.
True. That's true. That's why I didn't come on. I didn't want to tell you that.
That's
like right now, I feel okay because it's even. You know, I'm on my side of the screen and you're on your side of the screen. But if it was three, then I would be, you know.
Because I'm sorry, I've had white friends and they've talked to me and they go, I've got to be honest. I've been racist towards black people before, but I didn't really know a lot of black people, and getting to know, I kind of feel bad about how I did. And I was like, that I appreciated them being honest with me and admitting to me that they had been racist in the past. Just own your racism and be honest about it.
So I can just own it right here on the stream. We can just keep going.
Own it on the stream. And then
I don't even know where this came from. Yule's the racist one. He says you all look and wrestle alike.
Oh, Lord.
He's calling private party.
Well, I've noticed, especially in the South, black wrestlers all had the same kind of deal. They were all going to be the big black guy to come in, beat up the white guy, and then the white guy was going to come out on top somehow by getting the comeback on him. That's, you know, Ernie Ladd wrestled a lot for Bill Watts and stuff.
Yeah, but that was back in the day. Now, all the black wrestlers are athletic.
Yes, that is true. And hold on.
Matt Hardy is a hooker.
Hold on. No, I can't see Kanan drawing dude's coin purse. Oh man. Yeah.
You're gonna think of the most horrendous thing possible for poor Kanan to draw.
Oh God. Hilarious. No blacks. You know what I'm saying? Own it, man. Oh no. Brando.
Oh, are they turning on me? Don't turn on me.
No, remember. You're a plant, and you were sent in to destroy Comicsgate. Remember that?
Oh, is that what it was?
That was like you set up Sweetcast, and
I backed his campaign and promoted him so that I could sabotage him.
No, it's not any worse than people saying that because Mike said, "Hey, Kanan and Antonio's campaign is up now. Back brand way of the gun." Oh, I'm anti-Comicsgate because Mike said that Antonio and Kanan's book should be back. I'm lying. I couldn't even, you know, it was blowing my mind. I was like, you're literally saying I'm anti-Comicsgate because of something that someone else said, just being nice. You know, the whole thing. But either way.
Yule, whatever.
Yo, Yule turned on you hard, man.
Hey, I read you. I made you guys sit and listen to me read off every Comicsgate project that I've backed the other night. So you can't say that I don't support Comicsgate because that would be a lie.
Rest in peace, Boogie. Yes, yeah, but
Boggy. That's what Clint called me, was Boggy.
Bog doggy dog. No, what was it? Be Bug doggy dog. It'd be Bug doggy dog. I was like, yeah, you're the SMB network. Why? It's what is they called? Snake and Boogie.
Dude, if you go back to the very beginning, we started off making Minecraft videos, and we did a show called.
How's that working out for you?
Let me tell you something. If we had started before Minecraft became, you know, huge, like if we had got on at the right time, that show would have been a gold mine. We did 5-minute Minecraft, 5-minute episodes of us doing as much as we possibly could on Minecraft. So we would sit down and we would knock out 6, 7, 8 episodes in a night. And we would be drinking and acting like idiots. And then we would just upload one a day. But that's what it started out as. And then it kind of just went nowhere. And
how long did you run that for?
That's the thing, is nobody, like the guy that I started it with, there was no consistency. And then we did online racing with Forza. You ever see Forza Motorsports?
I know that game, yeah.
We got in a serious like hardcore online racing league, which the Snake had done it before and he got me on it. And I'm talking some of the best racers in the world were in this league. And so we would make videos of those races and like clip them and then do commentary on them. And then from there, it's like, I like wrestling. We would talk about wrestling. And then a guy came to me and was like, hey, let's do Comic Cast. So we started Comic Cast and we did that for, I mean, we're 4 years into that. And then a guy was like, hey, let's do Tennessee football. And Talking Balls is what blew the channel up. Like, I mean, we're getting close to 2,000 subs, but Talking Balls, man, we got videos around 10,000 views. It just depends on, you know, what we're talking about. But Talking Balls that's what the channel is. So I guess you would say Comic Cast is a passion project because I dig comics. But
there you go. Let me see. Ken Jack Ben says, some wasps make honey. They cannot make enough. I'm assuming you mean honey for humans to collect, but they do make a very small amount of honey. I think their honey wouldn't be like the honey that normal honeybees make. It would be more like what that stuff that they call bee bread or whatever. They make something that they can feed to the nursing wasps. They make a liquid that you can, but there's something that beekeepers collect in a raw form. The stuff that they what they call it, the royal jelly, the stuff that the honeybees feed to they can collect it. It's like a white paste, and you can collect it out of the queen bee cells, and it's bitter, but apparently it's supposed to be very healthy if you drink it. If you can take it in like small doses, although some people have allergic reaction to it, I've heard, but some people should not consume raw honey. Also, you can get sick from it, but it's supposed to be overwhelmingly healthy. But some people have it's probably the pollen that is in natural raw honey that makes those people, because you know some people might have a reaction to some of the pollen.
What's weird about that though is like people with allergies, like my youngest daughter has like really bad allergies, so they encourage her to drink raw honey from our area, and that it can help with her allergies.
Yes, and it can help build an immunity to it. Yeah. And when you start, matter of fact, my buddy Randy, the 628 Dirt Rooster, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. He's got over 70,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. There's a couple of people. Let's see. I'm cool with Jeff Horshaw, Mr. Ed's Bees on YouTube. And he's got over 60,000 on his channel as well. Hello, Mr. Ed here. And I'm like, yeah. Then there's Vino Farms. He's got like 48,000, and he does beekeeping, and he also does homesteading, where they're out in the country and they're showing you how to naturally farm. And it's like there's a lot of people interested in that stuff, man. I didn't. It's just like I was talking a couple months ago about that guy that's got the channel where he restores Hot Wheels cars. He makes good money restoring the Hot Wheels car, and he's got over 100,000 subs. People are watching his videos to watch him restore a rusted out Hot Wheel from 1976 that was a old collector's item, and then he buffs the body, gets the rust out of it. I mean, it looks like he's working on a real car the way he's doing it. He's like, all right, this body's got to be replaced, and he goes, and he drills and takes the whole thing, and he's got a whole kit that he pulls out with replacement wheels and studs and all this.
Is he good?
Oh, when he gets through pimping, it's like Pimp My Hot Wheel.
But like his, does he sound like a good YouTuber, or does he sound like Gail Simone talking about going on her trip across the country? You know, it's weird because I know that I always talk about this when I'm talking to you, but the gumbo video that you made, like, I loved it. Like, it was gold. It's like, so I was like, I could do some cooking stuff and make some videos. And so I just put in random cooking, like how to make chicken parmesan on YouTube. And dude's got like millions of views, and he's awful. He's horrible. And I'm like, well, how does this guy get millions of views? And people out there with good content just falling under you just don't get seen.
It's crazy. Like, what was it? Remember a couple months ago when that fight at Disneyland happened, and then Ethan took the video and he broke it down. He called the guys
streams of all time.
Yeah, that was awesome, right? And he even did it again on the High Council. But my favorite was when he did it by himself, and he did it on the High Council, and it was still funny. because he had his material down. The material, it was a more polished version. But when he just did it and he was just reacting to it live on the air the first time, it was so funny. I was watching. He's like, all right, let me rewind. Here's Captain Chokeout. Watch him. He's creeping up. He's standing in position. There you go, Captain Chokeout. And I was like,
he's so good at improv like that. Yeah, that's what he's. Oh, it's so funny.
That's why I didn't like it when he redid the material on the High Council. It was because it wasn't as it was more improvised the first time he did it.
Right.
He obviously had the clip pulled and he knew he wanted to talk about it, but when he had his jokes down when he did it the second time, and it was just like I guess because maybe I laughed. Because I had already laughed at the jokes and so, but there were a lot of people watching the High Council that hadn't, and they still enjoyed it. But when he did it that first time, and it was just brand new, and he was just riffing, it was hilarious.
Yeah,
and that's that guy. That whoever owned that video, they uploaded it to YouTube, and people started clipping and showing it, and he started sending copyright because the video got like over 4 million views just within a couple of days, and then he started hitting people with copyright strikes for showing the video.
But see, because I hear Ethan say all the time, or maybe Cecil, when you pause it and do commentary,
pause it, commentate it, you're transforming it, but it don't matter. When I show videos, I get in trouble.
See, because that's what I wanted to do tonight was show the end of Being the Elite, and then I wanted to show Matt Hardy's video and pause it, and I'm like, it'll never work. You'll get
I'll end up getting
it's like
hopefully Matt Hardy's not a dick, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious about it, but I really do. I love that he showed it. I mean, I didn't get that was on my channel when you did the Jim Cornette with Jericho, and they were at the drive-thru cussing those people out. But we didn't show too much of it. We showed enough of it to get, what we show about 30, 40 seconds of it.
Yeah, but I would love to watch that Matt Hardy video. But it's only like a minute and a half. Do you think he would really shut you down? It's your channel. I won't pull it up if you don't want to.
I don't know. I do want to. I don't know. I kind of want to risk it because I thought it was great.
Well, hold on. Let me pull it up, and we'll go through it slow.
And we'll pause. Yeah, we'll pause and talk about it. And
all right. So let's while I'm pulling it up here, let's see. Let me get it pulled up. Hold on. Yeah, because the name of the video is Matt Hardy is elite, and we're not even talking about it. So what I want to. Oh, stop. What I want to preface this with is, again, Being the Elite. Anybody that just jumped in, I talked about it a little bit earlier. At the end of Being the Elite, they were at Revolution. They had done the pay-per-view. They were done. The Bucks said they hadn't been home in like a week. They were excited to go home, spend 4 days with their family before Dynamite, which is tonight at 8 o'clock on TNT. And as they were wrapping up and getting ready to go to the airport, they get a phone call, 910 area code. What's that? North Carolina. We'll come see you. We're not going home yet. We got one more stop to make. So let's watch this video.
Sasha owns both your black asses by South African. That's probably true. Sasha was fun on Sexy Party.
I'm black now?
Yeah. You're light skinned.
Can I be adopted into the? I look like you in Tugs.
No, Dawn's light skinned though. Remember, I revealed that Dawn's actually light skinned. She's got red hair and green eyes, but she's light skinned. You'll see that more in the next story. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got.
So the Bucks got a mystery phone call, and they got somewhere to go. This is what Matt Hardy's up to, though. Here we go.
You were the only two that have been able to separate Zenith from my body. There are great higher powers out there that believe in me, and if I believe in them, then I'll have everlasting life, everlasting broken brilliance. Wait. Zenith is infected. Zenith is dying. I need you two to come to the Hardy compound and remove Zenith from my body.
Okay, so he's talking about a higher power. You think did you see he put out a tweet also that kind of broke down everything that's going on with this character, what we're seeing on the video. And he kind of broke down Zenith and all this past. I hope it doesn't confuse people when he shows up in AEW.
I'm just very curious how it's going to play out tonight. Let's see how that goes down.
Do you think he's going to show up as part of the Dark Order?
Everybody's been saying he's going to be the leader of the Dark Order, so probably the smart move would be, although I think he would make the Dark Order more respectable to me if they really want to push the Dark Order. But everybody's saying he's going to be the leader of the Dark Order, so might be smarter to do a swerve.
Well, did you see where Bray Wyatt tweeted and was basically like, say it ain't so?
Yeah, don't leave, Matt. Don't leave Hart.
And he said, I'll never be I'll always be near. And they've been saying that the leader of the Dark Order is near for the last few weeks. Yeah. So I don't know. I wanted him to be the leader of the Dark Order, but after the way everything's playing out, part of me kind of wants him to just show up and do his own thing. But
also the point that we didn't really touch on when we were first talking about Revolution earlier on this stream, they fucked it off by having Chris Daniels come in with that hood, and then he blew it off. You know, I wish they hadn't done that. That just made it look like a goof. So.
I didn't mind it because they've teased him joining and then he didn't come to ringside. But I think it's because I mean, when you're being real, they didn't know who was going to be the leader. We've heard Marty Scurll, and then he signs with Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And now you hear Matt Hardy. You got people like me screaming about Raven being in the crowd. I don't think they knew when they started.
If it's Raven, I could live with that because they already showed him in the thing. So it's Raven, and then Matt Hardy comes in and do something else.
Yeah.
I think
I would like that.
Raven.
I would be down
Raven.
with
that. I think it should be Raven.
Yeah.
Just because everybody's exposed that it's going to be Matt Hardy. So it should probably be Raven.
All right. Let's
no, not Joey Ryan. Please. Not Dick Flip. No.
No.
Oh, God. Oh, what if it was Cody? Hold up.
In various boats.
Yeah, hold up. You'll said it's Brandy and Cody, which I can't stand Brandy, but
no way.
I can't stand can't stand Cody's neck tattoo either.
There's no way it's Cody. He's too over, dude. He can't turn heel. Not yet. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Both. In the meantime, I'm going to get my affairs in order in case anything goes wrong.
Is that not his dad?
I
don't know if it is or not.
I don't think so.
See you soon.
Their dad was older than that.
Wait, did you see that?
Oh yeah, that was Eric Cup.
Gone it? No. That's who he was calling the future. His future. As in his future is all elite.
Oh, I thought he was calling Future the rapper. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, God. Focus, Antonio. Focus.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Dude, I love everything about this video. He is such a genius, man. He is such a genius.
Hopefully, Matt, like I said, I think Matt has a pretty decent reputation of being cool with the fans and stuff. I hope he realizes, we're fans and we're just watching and we're bigging him up. So I hope he doesn't go, hey, let me strike these guys, dicks.
Yeah, that way to put that in there because he's definitely going to listen to what you have to say before he copyright strikes you.
Yeah.
Much more.
Damascus. I love that.
Dude, I love everything about this.
He's so smart, man. He's so smart.
What I love too is there's so much symbolism burying his former self.
Yeah.
To delete and go and be himself and be creative and do what wrestlers are supposed to do, not get handed a script and told what to do, but go out and create magic. Used to, that's what you did. That's what you did back in the territory days. That's what you did back in the 80s.
It out like when he was in WWE, when they brought him back this last time, and he was doing the Freedom Elite and all that kind of thing, and the program with Bray Wyatt and all that. After a certain point, he stopped doing the character and he was just normal again.
Because they weren't letting him really do it.
Yeah, so he was like, it's wasting good material
to
do it. So he stopped doing it on WWE television, which I thought was smart because now people are wanting it to come back again. And like I said, when he goes on AEW, I'm just so looking forward to this tonight. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah.
God, look at his face, his facial. Oh, my gosh. Here we go. I'm getting fired up, man.
Oh, yeah. I like how the wind was blowing his hair.
All right, so the truck's pulling up. I love this shot. I absolutely love this show. I was explaining it to my wife earlier. Like I went on break right as all this was happening, and I was kind of telling the story, and I was getting amped up and getting chill bumps. And when people in the chat are like, I don't watch wrestling, whatever, people talk about, oh, AEW is no good. Yes, it is. This is why it gets me excited. I cannot wait for Dynamite tonight. All right.
So hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, so hold on. Dirty Lizard says the exalted one is clearly Santino Morello. That would be funny, except they've already announced that Santino's going to be at WrestleMania. He is going to be at WrestleMania, and also the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay is going to be at WrestleMania, which I don't care about. I hope they don't start having him wrestle again, because that would be stupid to me. But yeah, somebody call my mama. But yeah, those two have been announced. They're going to have a few guest spots, and Santino and Brodus Clay are supposed to be at WrestleMania. So
here we go. You ready for the reveal?
All right.
Oh man, I can't wait. Here we go.
I'm ready. Free the delete.
What's up, Matt?
Thoughts of youth. I knew you'd come.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great, dude.
Love it.
Oh.
That when I saw it, man, I was like, that was great, man. I'm a big fan of Mr. Hardy.
Did you like his stuff that he did in Impact? Did you watch all of that?
At first, I thought he was I didn't get it. And then it started getting over with people, and I kept hearing about it more and more. And I said, man, they just let him do it. I just started realizing how he was, he's having his baby. One of his other sons was like still just like a toddler, little kid.
Maxwell.
And he had his hair like that. I was like, they just let him do whatever he wants, man.
Dude, that kid officially won a match in Impact Wrestling.
Oh, it's just like, yeah, that's awesome. And
at first, I didn't get it. At first, I didn't get it. I didn't understand.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
It's kind of like Lucha Underground. You got to realize what you're watching. It is not just wrestling.
I watched like 5 episodes of Lucha. I just didn't.
But you got to understand, it's not wrestling. It's so much more than just wrestling.
And people that love Lucha, they keep trying to get me back in. I was like, dude, I gave it 5 episodes. You can't hook me by 5 episodes.
It's just not your thing.
It's just like I was confused, and I don't want to be the old man talking to the clouds. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's why people say because Jim Cornette talks about it on podcast where he says, oh, they say I'm angry and bitter, and I'm an old man out of touch. And he's like, no, I've been 40 years in this business, and I see him shitting on it. And that's why I'm saying something, and it's that kind of thing. But the Bucks are over. Kenny Omega are over. So he doesn't, and he calls my little dog Pockets Orange Cassidy. At first I saw Orange Cassidy. I was like, this dude's just standing there with his hands in his pocket. He's like thinking, I didn't get it. But the more I watched it, like when he did that spot where they pulled him out from under the ring, I was done. I immediately looked him up on Twitter. I said, I gotta follow this dude, man.
Well, and me and Bob talked about it last week on the Wrestling Council. He can actually wrestle, and you saw that at Revolution. Yeah. He can wrestle.
I know why they didn't let him win because they're building Pac up and all this kind of thing. But boy, if he had went over, I would have loved that. The crowd would have exploded. He probably would have overshadowed the following matches if they had let him beat Pac.
Yeah, but I like that he lost because now let him go back to doing nothing and then kind of build up to another match where he tries. And you know what I mean? Let him do his thing. Comic Book Bob says Matt has to show up now because the Bucks know if they do this kind of tease and don't deliver, the fans will lose their shit.
They already flaked out and left Twitter. I mean, they're still on Instagram though.
Matt came back to Twitter actually, but
I saw Nick's one of them did, but the other one, which one's the one that's balding?
Nick,
yeah, because he says I saw some people going in on his hairline, and that's why he keeps wearing that headband and stuff. And I was like,
but I remember it because Matt looks like Matt Hardy. That's how I always remember because they both got the dark hair of the brothers. But what Bob's saying, they have to deliver now. This was smart to me because if you had just brought Matt Hardy, it would have been a cool surprise for all of the fans. But when you tease this, the internet's going crazy, right? This dropped at noon.
Yeah, because
we're doing an improv live stream because of it.
If you check out Google, it's the story's trending and stuff now.
So now what do you think people are going to be watching tonight?
They're going
to be watching
they're already burying NXT. So I mean, I didn't expect NXT to win, but the word's out that Matt's going to AEW. If I'd be shocked, like we said earlier, if it should be their show to get over 1 million views.
Yeah.
I think the very first episode got him over 1 million.
Did it? See, I didn't.
The debut, because people were curious about it.
Right.
And then, I could have swore they got about 1.5, 1.4 on the rating.
Yeah.
I thought they got that. But then after that, they went down to like 800 and something. And then it dropped even as it got towards the holiday. It dropped down in that 700,000. Then the last few weeks, they've been over 900,000 both weeks.
They've been pretty consistent other than that 1 week that what was it they competed? There was something big going on.
There was, because WWE, it was when they were doing the NXT invasion thing.
Oh,
and they were sending, And so we knew that's WWE injecting steroids. And there's some stories that's come up that Vince is actually surprised that he wasn't able to crush them. He's shocked. They were like,
it's like you said, if it was going head to head with SmackDown, like if they moved SmackDown to Wednesday night, then they would get buried. There's no way they were going to compete with the main roster. But NXT, WWE should have never put NXT on TV. Just let AEW do their thing and keep NXT where it belongs.
I missed it on the WWE network where it used to air, and then now you have to wait 2 weeks to see the episode that aired. It's a 2-week delay. So I'm like, so now I have to watch highlights on YouTube and stuff. So if you're, I don't know.
Well, and I think it ruined it because now you got it's a 2-hour show. You got to fill 2 hours worth of content.
Yeah, well, they need to trim an hour of Raw. I think we need 2 hours of Raw. The rest of it can be dark stuff or whatever. And then, so it should be more than 2 hours because even the people that work on the show say sometimes that 3 hours can be brutal. Jerry Lawler said it, especially when they were trying to scramble to tape for the holidays.
Yeah.
They did 5 hours. He did not like the 5 hours because he was like, he said we went dark on television and showed a canned match from the canned stuff from the previous week, and then they taped for 2 more hours while the fans were watching the canned stuff on television, and then they showed that stuff for the following. And I was just like, he said, it was 5 hours brutal.
It's like going to Ring of Honor TV taping. I mean, it's like they're recording 4 hours worth of TV, so you're there like 5-6 hours. Ugh.
Not only was it brutal, they had one of the tag teams. I think the original club or whatever, the OC. They came out live, and then they had to come out during the dark segment too and tape for the next week with the Christmas presents and stuff laid out and all that.
Oh God!
Yeah, so they had the same wrestlers come out twice on one show, and it was a 5-hour show. I mean, Jerry Lawler said that. He said, he said you kind of had to pretend like it was the first time they were out, even though they had already been out a couple hours before earlier.
And it kills their crowd reaction too when you do that.
Yeah, having to put canned sound in and all this, and I was like, it just wasn't went up to snuff. But I am very much looking forward to seeing AEW Dynamite tonight. I think it's going to be hot fire.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man.
Is Lance Archer debuting tonight?
I don't know if he is or not. He's signed.
Yeah, I know he's signed. I'm not okay. They haven't had anybody signed yet. What I know, didn't they sign Luke Harper too, which he's not debuting for another couple months.
Is that official? Is he officially signed?
From my understanding, I thought he was, but maybe
everybody acts like he is. I don't know if anything's official or not. Watch him show up and be behind the Dark Order.
That would be weird. Oh God. Hold on, let me see. Adam Manetta. I sat through a TNA monthly taping one time. They reran some wrestlers 3 times because the shows can. And it almost reminded me of that master plan they had for when they debuted Thunder on WCW, where they were taping weeks in advance. They were down there at Universal. They tape for like 3 days. And it was the same, but every hour on hour, they would just swap out, and a new crowd would be in there, and they would just have to pretend like it's.
That's not as bad. That's not as bad if you're swapping out the crowd.
Yeah, they swap out the crowd every hour, but just making one crowd sit there and watch that shit.
Yeah, they're done.
They might, and I've heard they'll say, "Hey, can you guys switch positions or something?" They'll have the audience like switch chairs and shit like that, so that the crowd looks like it's different. They'll do that kind of shit.
I love Ring of Honor, man, and I've been to 2 TV tapings, and both of them we left before they were over because it's just too much. Oh yeah, Brad Noble, Colt Cabana. It was like 4.5 hours, something like that.
One show? Well, because it wasn't a pay-per-view?
No, they were recording. It was a TV taping. So they're recording 4 weeks worth of TV at one show.
God, that's how they did the NWO thing. Because that's what Jim Cornette was like. Jim Cornette said, I knew I was going to be on 3 more. And then they were going to do a highlight show in between. They were going to show 2 shows with Jim. One of which was the chicken joke. And then he knew the highlight package was going to come, and then they could have aired out his last, or edited out his last one after he had walked away or whatever. But they went ahead and aired it, and then after that they brought in what's the name, British dude, that was in WWE, the one that was in the
Marty
Nexus.
Wait, no,
the Nexus.
Oh, Wade Barrett.
They brought him in.
Stu Bennett.
Oh, that's what. Is that his real name? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Because I was like, okay, I know you can't use Wade Barrett because that's another thing. That's so funny. I remember there was a thing with they were showing a guy that was in developmental and he was talking to Vince. He's like, oh, we got to get you a new name because they don't want the wrestler to own the name.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Seth Rollins was Tyler Black.
Which is weird to me because why does Seth Rollins have to Tyler Black come in and have to change his name? Why does Kevin Owens have to Kevin Steen come in and change to Kevin Owens? But then guys like, who was I thinking of? Like Cedric Alexander. Why do they let him use his real name? It's weird. Why do some guys get to use it and some don't? I don't understand.
Well, let me get this. Victor, was Coco Beware your idol when?
Is that a racist comment?
I don't know if it is or not, but I want to answer it. When I was a kid, actually, the Birdman from Unionville, Tennessee. I liked Coco Beware a lot, but my guy was Hulk Hogan. I liked the British Bulldogs. I liked Demolition. In NWA at the time it was Ric Flair and the Horsemen. Started liking Sting. I loved the Ultimate Warrior. But
how great was that when it was Warrior against Hogan, man? You're a little bit older than me, but like everybody around our age. That was it, dude. That's your Hogan lost.
What was that? Was at SummerSlam though. That wasn't at WrestleMania, was it?
I thought it was WrestleMania 6.
Was it at WrestleMania? Because I know I thought they battled at SummerSlam or something.
I don't remember.
But either way,
I was like 6 years old. How am I supposed to remember?
And but just like I went back on the WWE network and I watched the SummerSlam match, which was The Undertaker versus The Undertaker. That was a lot worse than I thought it was. When I was a kid, I thought that was special. I just went back and watched that show. Was cheesy as fuck, dude. It wasn't.
Most of them were though.
Yeah, it was in your house. They were still doing WWF in your house, and they had Jerry Lawler on. They started off with when the show went live. Macho Man. This is why he was about to leave because he was tired of what they would do. They were trying to retire him and make him a ring announcer or a ring commentator. And they were like, "Oh yeah, dig it, Macho Man, we're at SummerSlam." He's all glossed up and with his outfit, boom, boom. They cued Vince and the King, Jerry Lawler. Because that's another that Jerry Lawler came to WWF too late. He was in his 40s.
Oh yeah.
And it was like if he had been in his prime, but he was making too much money down there in Memphis. He owned part of the territory, so I understand why he didn't leave. I was like, he owned part of the territory. They gave him a piece. He got like 10% of the territory. He was making millions. So he's like, I'm making way more money wrestling down here than I could make for working for Vince.
But he always had a good deal too, because he would come and be in the WWE, then he would go home to Memphis and wrestle, and he still had a wrestling company.
Yeah, he was running. That matter of fact,
Power Pro or whatever.
He still owned a piece of the developmental territory down there, like for when they sent the R-Truth, when they sent the R-Truth documentary on WWE Network, they sent him down there to Memphis Wrestling, and that was Jerry Lawler's thing. I don't know. I'm sure he sold it or something, but
Power Pro Wrestling, wasn't it? Wasn't it Randy Hales and all that deal?
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, Jerry owned a piece of that for a minute there, and I was just like, oh, and it was too much, man. I didn't know Jerry still had his hand in the cookie jar as far as promoting, and he was still doing indie shows because I remember there was a big super show down there. He was raising money for charity. I think he had to clear those events with Vince, but he had he contacted Hulk Hogan, and it was supposed to be. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to be Hulk Hogan versus Paul White or something, and then they had to cancel. And I think Jerry ended up being the match against Hogan. It was supposed to be for whatever reason Vince didn't let Paul White. Paul White had agreed to do it, and thought everything was cleared. And then Vince was like, "Nah, you're not going down there to wrestle Hulk Hogan." And they pulled the plug, and then Jerry Lawler had to step in and be the main event with Hogan. So it's like, yeah, he was still doing stuff like that, and they had a nice gate down there. I mean, people still like wrestling in Memphis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is. But let's see. Hello, Robert Shepard. Yes, hello on the Periscope there. And but Coco Beware, I was a big fan of his, but he wasn't my favorite. Hell, I even like Brutus the Barber Beefcake, although now I'm looking at that and going, why did I like Brutus?
Because again, it's like Hogan, man, which Hulk Hogan is a worker. You whether you say he didn't have great matches, but he just had that it factor. And as a kid, you didn't care if his headlocks were snug. All you wanted to see him do was body slam somebody and drop the leg.
Drop that leg, man. Yeah.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You just wanted to see him cut somebody's hair. And in fact, when I was in elementary school, me and a buddy of mine, the teacher left the room and we started singing Brutus the Barber Beefcake's theme song. And I held a poor kid's arms behind his back and he cut the kid's hair with scissors. Yeah, we both got paddled. That's my first paddling in school.
Yeah.
Was cutting a kid's hair. Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Good
God.
times. Good times.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, man.
I gotta eat. Aren't you doing a show?
Yeah,
at 7
I'm about
o'clock?
to say, me and you all on the same page. I was about to say, hey,
we're brothers.
Boogie. Yeah,
identical. We're pretty much identical.
Identical.
I mean, look. Put your head.
They walk alike, they talk alike.
I mean,
because they're cousins. Identical cousins, Anyway, but yeah, Boogie, SMB Network. If you look on my YouTube channels, you will see that SMB Network is among my favorite channels there. And obviously, they will be hosting the Wrestling Council next week. I've got it tomorrow night. But please subscribe to Mr. Boogie Bentley and follow him on the Twitter too, at Boogie Bentley. He's got like 17 Twitter accounts there. Tell them all the stuff that they can follow you on there.
At Talking Balls _pod if you like Tennessee football. At Comic Cast Pod if you like new comic reviews. But if you're straight comic skate and don't like mainstream comics, then you probably won't dig Comic Cast. All kinds of different opinions over there. I don't even know what the SMB Twitter is. All I do is retweet everything else with it. That's it. Just follow me at Boogie Bentley and subscribe to SMB Network on YouTube's.
All right. Well, you know the deal with me, baby. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube, all at the Card Press. Cardpress.com takes you to Brand Way of the Gun. Get that. We're almost at 6,000. Thank you, guys. I'll be back in a few hours with Commie Mark. I think. Is it Commie Mark or Commie Mike? Either way, it's set up there on the thingy. And buy books, vote often, and eat tacos.
I like tacos.